The second round of talks between the United States and Iran are scheduled to take place in Pakistan next week. President Donald Trump confirmed his representatives will reach Islamabad on Monday evening. In an interview to ABC News, Trump said that the U.S. is offering what he called a fair and reasonable deal to Iran. The president says that if Iran rejects the deal, the U.S. will knock out every single power plant and bridge in the country. Trump said that Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner will attend the Islamabad talks, but did not disclose if Vice President J.D. Vance will be part of the talks. On April 11th, Vance led the U.S. delegation and offered his best and final offer to the Iranian side. The two sides had intensive talks for over 20 hours, but reached no agreement. Iranian side termed Vance's demands unlawful and meaningless. Meanwhile, Iran's Tasnim news agency shared that Iranian and Pakistani foreign ministers discussed regional and international developments over a phone call. Ahead of the high-stakes talks, Pakistan has been turned into a heavily secured, safe island for the high-stakes talks. It has tightened control over long-distance passenger transport, banned heavy trucks from entering the main urban areas, and raised its security alert level. Islamabad University has moved its classes online from April 20th to the 24th. The Faizabad long-distance bus terminal, a major transport hub between the twin cities of Islamabad and Rawalpindi, has been temporarily closed since Saturday night. It is expected to remain suspended until April 26th. The red zone and extended red zone have also been closed, and citizens have been advised to use alternate routes. Security has been tightened around the Serena Hotel, where the first round of talks took place. Media access has also been tightened since the first round earlier this month, with some journalists describing current process as difficult. The goal is to reduce communication risks by securing both space and information. Islamabad is positioning itself as an absolute safe haven for these talks.
That is an honor for me and for our country that there's a big event in our country going on. Conversation, mediation by Pakistan between USA and Iran. We are hosting that negotiation. That is proud for me, proud for my country, pride for people.
Turkiye says that both Iran and the United States have the will to end this war, adding that the ceasefire due to expire next week should be extended.
The negotiations between US and Iran have reached a critical stage. This is common knowledge. What is good is that both sides are continuing the talks with serious intentions and sincerity. They have the will to continue. Not only the parties involved, but the whole world is frankly relieved by the current ceasefire. Of course, the continuation is important for everyone.
We're now being joined by Mr. Scott Lucas. He's live from Wicklow, Ireland. He's a professor of international politics at the University College Dublin. Mr. Scott, good to see you. Thank you very much for making time for us. We saw what happened yesterday. The Situation Room was quite a trending topic globally, and we saw what emerged from that. Now, questions are we headed to a diplomatic front or an escalation? Your view?
So, as usual, it's always good to cut through what I call the white noise, the bluster, including this latest post from Donald Trump that you were showing. There's a lot on both sides. The United States and Iran talking tough, we're winning. On Trump's side, threatening again war crimes with the destruction of infrastructure in Iran. Here's where we're positioned. According to the Americans, the second set of talks will take place in Islamabad, where the first set were held. Steve Witkoff, the real estate developer, Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, will again be there. According to the America's ambassador to the UN, Mike Waltz, J.D. Vance will return. He will lead that American delegation. Now, the Iranians have not yet confirmed that they will be going to these talks on Monday, but I suspect it is quite likely. So what are the issues that are here? Well, we have the ongoing issues of Iran's nuclear program, where we know that the Americans have already accepted in a way that Iran can maintain a civilian nuclear program. They just say you have to wait 20 years. The Iranians are saying, no, we're only going to wait 5 years before we enrich uranium again. Is there a space between those two positions? And then the second other key issue, the Strait of Hormuz. The Americans telling the Iranians, you have to give up your oversight of it, return it to the status which it had before this U.S.-Israel war, of an internationally free waterway with no one controlling it. And the Iranians are saying, well, no, we oversee this waterway now, and we're going to set up a toll system. We're going to charge ships to go through it. Again, is there a settlement on those two issues? The looming date beyond the talks is, of course, on Tuesday. That is when the ceasefire expires. Will the Trump administration once again go back to the bombing of Iran? Because fundamentally, and again, cut through Donald Trump's bluster, the Americans have got two choices. They cannot get regime surrender through air power alone. So they either continue these talks or they put in ground troops. And it looks like they're not going to put in ground troops. So despite all the shouts that are coming out this morning, it does look like we are going to continue to have talks and perhaps an extension of that ceasefire.
Let's talk about that ceasefire, because there is speculation that during the period of the ceasefire, Iran has been stockpiling their weapons. Also, there's another report that says that Iran still has the capacity of 40% of their weaponry stockpile. How significant is that report?
Well, I think that's U.S. officials that are putting this out, so it is significant that this is their estimate. I don't think it's a question of stockpiling missiles. Fact is, the Iranians have missiles that have not yet been destroyed. The Americans don't know how many missiles still remain. That's the key part. A couple of weeks ago, the Americans could only confirm that they had destroyed 1/3 of the missiles. 1/3 might have been buried, but another third may not have been touched. With the drones, you're exactly right. 40%, according to the Americans, still operational. And we know the damage that those drones can cause, even in small numbers. We've seen that with the effect on the Gulf infrastructure, including energy facilities. And we know fundamentally the Americans have a problem. That is, it is very, very expensive to intercept a drone. You know, these air defense systems are millions of dollars per missile. It is very, very cheap, only thousands of dollars to fire a drone if you still have it.
Professor Scott Lucas, it's good to see you. We'll have to end this discussion here. Thank you for talking to us today.
Thank you.